All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
And with John Burr.
Aloha, boys.
I'm wearing an Eric Bledsoe jersey. I don't know if anyone
you are.
in the
Fitting.
world. This is the first time I've ever worn this Eric Bledsoe jersey. It's a
Quick question. Do you want to be
Suns.
here?
I don't want to be here. Eric Bledsoe jersey, obviously in honor of Eric Bledsoe being traded to the Grizzlies. Eric Bledsoe, of course, will never be a Grizzly.
Never.
Will never show up to the Grizzlies.
He has entered the Iguodala zone.
He hath entered the Iguodala zone. I'm putting together my top 5 all NBA. This is my top 5 Grizzlies players who did not play a minute for the Grizzlies, but were paid millions and millions of dollars by the Grizzlies in just the last 3 years. Eric Bledsoe.
Can you do a starting 5?
Yeah, Eric Bledsoe point. Dion Waiters at the 2. I'm gonna put. I might put Mario Hezonja at the 3.
I
I
thought he'd play. I
Like
thought he
Justice
was gonna play.
Winslow, despite playing, I don't know if what I'd call.
Oh no, he played. No,
I don't know if I call it play.
he played at
Played
least.
with your heart.
He played a baker's dozen games. What did it end up? 13. Also, by the way, we
Baker's
should have done a funeral. We could have done a funeral episode for Jonas Valanciunas. We could have done a funeral episode for Justice because he's gone.
It's more of a wake for the.
Come on back.
situation.
But not to be distracted. I guess at my 4, I'll Iguodala. At 5, I'm gonna say Dwight Howard.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think the Grizzlies paid him like $5 million last year. 6th man, Miles Plumlee. We paid him over $12 million a few years ago. I feel like I'm missing.
Allen
somebody.
Iverson played, so
Yeah, he played. And this is just the last 3 seasons.
oh god.
Those guys all. I mean, Marko Guduric, he got paid last year. I mean, they cut bait on him early. They cut bait on Wade Baldwin early. They don't mind paying guys who aren't there.
It's the small market way.
They made the playoffs last year. They're going to make the playoffs this coming season, and they're doing it with one hand tied behind their back. They're saying, you know what? We don't even need all our salary cap space. We're just going to waste it on people who don't even play for our team.
I mean, they were the 8th seed this past year. We could very easily end up on the outside. This year. But I feel like
that's absolutely reasonable. I was just
I feel like this move. If we're ready, are we talking about this yet, or should we wait? This move.
No, we should wait.
Okay.
We should. We haven't even talked about breakfast. I don't even know where Chuck is. Chuck is. I don't know if that's a Zoom background or if he's at some interesting resort.
No, I'm at a Marriott in Paducah. I decided to treat myself.
Oh, you're in the Duke. That's a nice looking courtyard by Marriott behind you.
It's pretty nice. It has it has downtown Paducah. No, I don't even know what this background is.
I think it's a pre-civil rights era backdrop that makes like older white people comfortable.
That's it. It is white privilege, the wallpaper.
Just the good old days.
So you're in Paducah,
Also
Chuck,
Oklahoma.
yeah?
Yeah, I'm in the Duke. I started my day in Nashville, then went to Memphis, then came up to Paducah. I've been in a car for 3.5 hours today.
That's almost as busy of a day as Eric Bledsoe had.
That's some like Luke Ridnour, like the
Can we get Eric Bledsoe to the Luke Ridnour 4 trades in a week?
I think it's going to take a little bit of moxie and effort to get him off the Grizz. So I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say the buck stops here.
Yeah.
I don't think that contract goes any further. I mean, I would love, could you flip him for a Luke Kennard? I assume he wants to go out to LA or something. He's a clutch guy with the Lakers. I heard, they've been offering some stuff. Like,
what are we willing to give Oklahoma City to take him off?
Nothing. The Grizzlies are going to eat his $21 million owed to him. They just
got to be able to do some kind of you can have Grayson Allen if
I don't. So everyone who covers the Grizzlies and everyone I communicate with regularly who's a fan of the Grizzlies, we all want Grayson Allen traded. Unfortunately, the coaching staff starts him.
Yes.
So I don't know if they're going to trade him or not. I mean, anyway, we shouldn't do all
what
this.
Happens
Chuck,
when you're Ted Cruz's illegitimate son?
What was your breakfast on this very big day where you just drove through Memphis, did some work, and then left?
I did some work and left. Got up at 5:45 a.m. Drove in through Jackson. Between Nashville and Jackson at the I-40 Linden, Tennessee exit is a Arby's.
Oh.
And at that Arby's, they have breakfast. So I had my first ever Arby's breakfast, sourdough sandwich with ham and egg and white cheddar cheese. Because your boy's eating his feelings. When I'm on the road, I get sad. And when I get sad, I get the beef.
She can't see you there, Chuck.
No.
She can't see you there.
So your boy's all,
What do you tell?
What's your Arby's order?
Your girlfriend you ate? What do you tell?
My Arby's order, I'm completely honest. I'm always honest about, I'm not John Burr.
Right.
I am honest about what I eat to people.
Yeah.
I don't
except for podcast listeners.
Right. Yes. I
went on a ruse about being vegan and fasting for
first of all
years.
Look, what goes on with my diet is a part of my journey.
But you just said you were honest with people about what you eat when you literally
the one person Chuck's truly not honest with is himself.
First of all, how dare you question my integrity? But mostly, so I had a sourdough sandwich. They were out of biscuits, which was trash. I wanted to get a chicken biscuit, but they had a good looking sourdough sandwich. I didn't want to get a croissant.
Yeah,
because thought you were gonna be sandwiching for sure.
No, I only do that at Burger King. Burger King's the only sandwich I'll get. Otherwise, I feel like I'm cheating on Burger King.
So where is Arby's in your hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy?
That sandwich was legit. The GOAT fast food breakfast sandwich to me is a bacon, egg, or a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin.
So that is your if you win the NBA title, that's what you're doing the next day.
I'm buying
you're ordering 50
BECs or SECs. Sorry, sausage, egg, and cheese. McMuffs.
Been a big week for the SEC.
Yeah,
just unrelated.
Is it?
So, well, if you follow college sports, apparently they're getting Oklahoma and Texas as well.
Oh, really?
That's the Southeastern Conference. No, that's good. I was trying to think. So, like, I spoke with John last Thursday. He let us know that his either win the NBA title or apex of career celebration fast food item would be to go to Long John Silver's
and get chicken planks.
The chicken
That's
planks.
Right, Chuck. See?
Oh yeah.
What was the dribble called, or some kind of the drippings?
The crust, the crunchies.
Yeah, everyone has their own nomenclature. It's
okay.
Legitimately fried nothing.
It's crunchies.
I was trying to think of what mine is. I was really
it's Chipotle, you monster.
But I eat Chipotle all the time. I feel like it would need to be a celebratory thing. I don't know if this counts as fast food. This is someplace I haven't been to in maybe it's been a while. Let's say 8 years. But I yearned for it, and it always felt so ridiculous that it felt celebratory whenever I went there. I'm talking about Genghis Grill. Right now, I would adore going to a Genghis Grill. Never
Genghis
had a
Grill
bad time
is
at
like
Genghis
the
Grill.
Chipotle of like missionary sex having white America. Like that's
just making the big bowl.
Yeah,
I thought
there's no way it can be sanitary. Like no way.
chance.
All this time, I was getting made fun of for going to a hibachi grill in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
No. Oh, Chuck, you misinterpreted that.
The Mongolian grill.
You are willingly misinterpreting that joke.
It
was not the Mongolian grill.
Pandemic.
You went in a pandemic.
That part.
You went to a actual like one of the only things that's like a forced eat with strangers.
You went to a feeding trough in a pandemic with strangers. That's the only thing we were making fun of you for.
Genghis. I didn't know our championship meal was. I thought it was breakfast.
It's probably not allowed. It's probably they don't have a drive-through. I couldn't order 50 of the whatever. I don't even remember what the bowls were called anymore.
But if I'm going fast food and I got to order it, I'm getting probably 50 fillet of fish.
Oh,
Burr's watched me eat multiple fillet of fish.
I think
know
I've
how
seen
to
you
order
eat 50 fillet of fish.
Mm-hmm,
Not all at once, but 3 at once.
Do they serve those? Do they serve those at 10 a.m.?
I believe we have on our YouTube page a video of me eating 4 of them.
In the unlikely event that Chuck wins an NBA championship, I think they'll serve it to him at any time, falling down style.
I would hope so.
Like, you don't even need an AK-47 a la Michael Douglas.
I would hope
just go
so.
in, you're like, look, I'm Matt Geiger. I won an NBA championship for you. 50 fillet of fish right now.
Wasn't there a national like Taco Bell promotion that if a team came back in the NBA finals, everyone got a chicken chalupa? Or did I hallucinate that?
I want to share in this stream with you.
I think you hallucinated it. I don't really know.
Cool. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Is this
Tweet
the plot to
Roy
Space Jam
Ira.
2?
Yes, that's maybe I saw that in Space Jam 2.
John, what was your breakfast?
Chuck alluded to it. I had a croissant.
Hey now.
For breakfast. And it was a Publix croissant. So I think like the French would not even consider it a croissant. They'd consider it some kind of hardened crumpet. Mm-hmm. But you pop that sucker in the air fryer for a minute or two and it gets pretty flaky. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad. I was going to say, John, you're my hardened crumpet.
Yay.
My
That's
breakfast
adorable.
was, I had a fried egg and then little handfuls of the leftover cereal. The children left bowls of cereal around. So, every few minutes I'd have a couple cinnamon toast crunch there. And the other bowl was Smart Start. Oh,
A what?
it's called Smart Start. It's like, I don't know.
I think I used to have to blow into my car after getting DUIs to get.
Oh, is that they call those Smart Starts too? Yeah. Now this is some kind of, I don't know, maybe there's some brand involved, flakes,
0.09,
a glaze of brown sugar, perhaps. I don't know. It's a pretty tasty, pretty straightforward.
You probably blow
cereal.
like a 0.06 after eating that. Those things are very sensitive.
You might. Those were our breakfasts. After our breakfast, we move ahead to our breakfast in bed apology. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on a previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA. Feel free to unload any NBA opinions now, but does anyone have anything they need to apologize for? John, what's your apology?
Lost in the hubbub of a Luka Doncic 48-point performance, I got to apologize to our man Luis Scola.
Oh, Argentina's own.
Whom I had forgotten was even alive, still kicking it hard, leading Argentina at the right. He's got to be 47 years old, still dropping 24 Dunkins on him. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing. I just apologize that I forgot he was no longer in the NBA and no longer kicking. No, well,
wait,
kicking,
did you forget? I mean, you just thought he passed away, or you forgot he existed?
I forgot it was like he was gone from this mortal coil. I remember tune into the game. I'm like, I got to know some Argentinian players. And then it was like, not only was it like, oh yes, international great Luis Scola is still the best player on Argentina. He looks infatigable.
Well, I feel like the big issue I feel like you're bearing the lead a little bit with Luis Scola. Maybe it's just me, but I thought most people's impression when they see however old Luis Scola is now is how strikingly beautiful he is.
Antonio Banderas.
His tanned arms and the glow. Right. Yeah, just the little glow coming off his skin.
And he got rid of that really greasy haircut.
It didn't look good on him.
Now he's got that high and tight kind of, I don't know, not a high and tight, but he's got that nice, GQ haircut.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He looked like he was like a part of Arcade Fire before.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Now
he's gone from Win Butler to just oozing machismo.
I mean, just something about how distinguished of a gentleman he appears to be right now, while still in, like, you see his muscular arms, his tanned, oiled arms, and he's playing basketball. It's impressive.
During my forays into the realm of trying to be a professional wrestler in my youth, they would drill into us that you can be fat, but if you're going to be fat, you better be tan. You don't want to be fat and pale.
What?
So apparently just the tan itself, that's a huge
Who
huge
in the
upgrade.
NBA right now is going to have a similar glow up when they go from 25 or 30 to 45 like Scola? Like, is Kelly Olynyk going to be gorgeous in 15
Gasol, when he
years?
goes home to Barcelona and is just gardening in the sun, he's gonna look so ruggedly handsome. I can't wait for it. Kelly Olynyk can't glow up. There's no way.
No,
I mean, you wouldn't
You
think.
can't take the Amish. You can't take the hacky sack out of that fish head.
Louis Scola is so young.
Is he? How old is he?
40.
He's 40. 41.
Oh,
He's 41.
yeah.
Why are we not aging like this? This is not fair. I guess because
we're not
it's
millionaires.
Diet. It's diet and exercise. I think that's all it is.
And having 7 figures in your bank account.
Good point.
Louis Scola has exercised more this year than we have in our entire lives combined.
That's true.
I bought a kettlebell 2 weeks ago, dropped it on my foot 6 days ago. Will never exercise again.
Yeah.
Did you mean kettle corn?
Yeah. Chuck, what's your apology?
I'm sorry for missing the post game 6 breakfast celebration. Also, I messed up last week. I called Jonas's block the Hero Euro.
Yeah.
That was bad. It's the Hero Euro pirouette. That's what that block is called.
Right.
I think it because it was meaty.
Best in threes.
Yes. It was meaty. It was a meaty hero. It was heroic. And the pirouette, that spin, he was just so like ballerina and power and meat.
I don't know if you're open to workshopping this, but what about just the Euroette?
The Euroette?
Is that too difficult?
No,
I think you're leaving. I think I like to respect the intelligence of the listener, but not that much.
That's a little too far.
I think if and the triplet, I think it works well. And it encompasses all parts of that play. The hero.
Can you try it again in your lilting Irish brogue?
The hero pirouette. I don't know if that comes.
Why don't you
across
podcast the whole time with that voice?
Well, that's what I'll do
tonight. We'd be
tonight.
so much more successful.
Right off there. Let's go. We'll talk
Irish Dave Duffer.
That is so much more enjoyable to listen to. Well, my apology on last week's big show where we were talking about the Pelicans G League team, and I was lamenting the Pelicans G League team did not accept my suggestion for what they would name themselves. I said they should name themselves the Birmingham Vulcans. Well, it turns out, as of last Monday night's recording, in fact, the Pelicans G League team had yet to announce what their name was. There still was hope. Unfortunately, today that hope was dashed. The G League team did announce its new name, and the Pelicans G League team that plays in Birmingham, Alabama, will be the Birmingham Squadron.
Boo.
You're not allowed to boo that, Chuck. As a white male, you may not boo that.
Oh, because it's respecting the military, sort of.
I think it has something to do with like the first Black Air Squadron,
right?
Like
and they tied it into that. They also
are you really allowed
to
do that when your state is known for the Tuskegee experiments? Can you like reverse double?
Yeah, they said they named it the Squadron because a group of Pelicans is sometimes called a squadron, and that certainly feels false. They also said
Pelicans is called an abomination. That is a like Boschian like.
They also
H.P.
said
Lovecraft many-angled monstrosity.
They were in, recognizing Birmingham's contributions to many world wars. And yes, John, that specific, the first African-American fighter squadron that was from Birmingham, the Birmingham Squadron. Yeah.
All right.
And it's the only like non-racist thing you can remember about a place. I guess you might as well.
That's the 99th Pursuit Squadron, the first all-black flying squadron in the Air Force, and also to the production of planes during World War II, which is not what you really would name a team after.
Yeah, let's name a team after the military-industrial complex. Let's
do it.
The
Cleveland Guardians.
Right.
What is that? They're named after like gargoyles. Is that right?
Yeah, they have some guardians in this. I honestly, team names are fine. Guardian seems totally fine to me.
That's cool.
I'm also
I feel like
indifferent
after the
to
Tennessee
baseball.
Titans, there's just never going to be a good team name. Like the Tennessee Titans, when it's so bland and singularly just monolithically poor that it's just over. Like we just like, yep,
We ran
give
out.
up.
Ain't nothing left.
My favorite is the Washington football team, and I really wish they would never change it. Just being the Washington football
Just leave
team,
it like that.
a lot of fun. Absolutely love it. Love the colors. Anyway, those were our apologies. After our breakfast in bed apologies, we move to our steak and eggs best thing. John, kick us off.
Keith, I did it with my mind.
You did it with your mind.
I willed it into existence. I used sex magic on a monthly basis. Okay, bi-monthly basis to will Jonas Valanciunas off of the Memphis Grizzlies and a better draft pick onto the Memphis Grizzlies. Does it get any better than that?
This is an amazing moment. I mean, it's good for the podcast that we get a big Grizzlies trade. John, so many Grizzlies fans right now are heartbroken because they love
I drink their
Jonas
tears.
Valanciunas. You, as a Grizzlies fan, have hated Valanciunas forever.
Let me say, I do like him as a human being.
Oh, every time we talk about basketball players, it's understood. We like these people as humans. We would hug them if we could. But yeah, we don't, as far as
Sartorially, he's,
the Wolf Jacket, unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Wolf Jacket. God.
Obviously beloved by his teammates. Absolutely does the most that he can do within his Frankenstein's monster-like husk body. He is a plodding, scoring machine. However, I have come to believe that he's a very bad fit for what the Grizzlies should be trying to do. Furthermore, I'm just so happy to see the Grizzlies do something which just seems empirically good, which is trade a guy at his highest value, as opposed to what I was afraid was going to happen, which was like trade Jaren Jackson Jr. at his lowest value. To me, this is like a decision point that spells out, a map for the future. And it's the future I want. It's the future I need.
So the Grizzlies, I mean, you say they traded him at his highest point, which is true, but I don't think the value they got back would be kind of reflecting of him at his highest peak.
Well, I just honestly think that NBA people probably, if I notice that the empty calories that is Jonas Valanciunas' game, and I notice how poor a fit he is on this team, absolutely everyone else must notice. It's the same thing when we were like trying to figure out why nobody wanted to trade for John Collins or Miles Turner. It's one of those things where it's just like these basketball people must know. Also, it's just big men that I don't think they have the value.
I agree with you there, John. That's one thing I was saying over on Grits and Grinds, where it's like, if you think about Jonas Valanciunas, you're like, all right, this guy, had unbelievable stats and he's an unbelievable offensive player. But how many teams, even if you ignored salaries, would trade their center for him? Like Miles Turner,
found the answer.
Like the Pacers, they're good. Like the Cavs, Jared Allen, like, yeah, we're good. We'll stick with Jared Allen. Like you go through almost every NBA team, and there's not that many that you would trade. And on the Grizzlies side, Valanciunas' deal was expiring. They've now turned Marc Gasol into these years of Valanciunas. They signed Valanciunas to a very reasonable extension. Now that extension is up. He's probably going to get paid a lot by the Pelicans. And they've now turned that into, all right, we'll have Steven Adams be our center for the next 2 years.
Grizzly Adams.
We did it.
We did it. I've been waiting to.
Does Zebo get to punch him in the face again when he walks through the door?
The Zebo angle is the only weird angle here, guys. That's the only one. Adams responsible for Zach Randolph being suspended for Game 7 of that.
In my head, this is like a nefarious revenge plot just to pull him into our inner circle to then execute him.
What I can't believe is the Grizzlies essentially, they're turning this salary cap space into just moving up the draft. And it seems like
we may move up more. They might
even move up more. Some Kings people are acting like the Kings don't want Buddy Hield. It's just absolute negative value. I've never seen it that way. I know, John, you don't like Buddy Hield very much.
I think Buddy Hield's I think he's being asked to do too much in Sacramento. If Buddy Hield's just standing in the corner shooting threes, let's go.
Yeah, that's how I like just the idea that you could be like, all right, let's trade this Bledsoe guy. All right, now let's walk up one more step from the 10th pick to the 9th pick. And I'm also, this is where I guess I'm more controversial and I'm closer to you, John. I recognize Valanciunas directly led to a lot of victories last year where I think he was forceful. His second chance points, like really helped them at the end of the year win some games they might not have won. However, I do not think the Grizzlies team success depends very much on whether he plays at all. Like I think they're totally fine.
I think we're about to see addition by subtraction.
It's gonna be hard for the Grizzlies specifically with their roster as they are right now because they don't have a lot of guys who can really score. Right. But I think Valanciunas is one of those perplexing guys to watch, much like a DeMar DeRozan, where you're like, this guy's good and he scores every time he gets the ball. But I think if he didn't play, whoever else played behind him would find a different way to get the same result.
I mean, it was hard to watch him. And if you watched enough Grizzlies games, I mean, you were pining for more Gorgie Jang minutes. You were wanting Tillman at the 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
there were moments.
It's just one of those things where if you watch, because we have done this to ourselves, where we watch all of their games.
Yeah.
And when you watch all of a team's games, like the numbers fade away and you just start to see patterns of behavior. And here's how I describe Jonas Valanciunas: just good enough to get you killed in this league. Just good enough to make
also your nickname, Hassan White Guy, is one of the great
nicknames.
I think I still don't love it because Jonas, I think, is much more impactful to winning.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to be missed that much. I think if you give all his minutes to Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark and Xavier Tillman, you're going to be just as good. Like you're not
I'm
losing.
I'm pumped about it. And I'm not done fapping yet.
Keep going.
David Stewie Griffin trading a first for Steven Adams and trading a first to get rid of Steven Adams.
Iconic.
Oh yes. Give it to me all over me.
I do give David Griffin credit. He's at least using those draft picks he acquired.
Sure.
Because you have to use them to do something, but it is funny to trade a pick for him, extend him, and then trade a pick to get rid of the extended player.
And if you're a Pelicans fan, you have to be like, okay, well, at least now we have some money to sign someone with.
They hope.
They're at such a critical juncture going forward. Like, I don't know what the Pelicans are anymore. I don't know what, I know their new coach comes from Monty Williams' tutelage, and that certainly seems good right now, but we really don't know anything about Willie Green other than that. So
he played for the Pelicans. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, early. I think he was a New Orleans Hornet, right?
So the over the last 2 seasons, when Jonas Valanciunas plays, the Grizzlies are 64-68 in the regular season. When he doesn't play, they're 8-5. So it's like, and it's not
bang the gavel.
Not an unbelievably convincing statistic because he doesn't miss that many games. But just last year, when Xavier Tillman started, there was no drop off. It's like, all right.
I love that it's against the Pelicans, the team that always beat us by exploiting Jonas Valanciunas and playing guys like Nicola Melli and just having.
Although honestly, I feel so fondly towards Jonas. That's gonna kind of put a speed bump in my trying to stoke the fires of that rivalry of trying to get that Pelicans Grizzlies.
I mean, I'm ready for him to put 40 and 20 on us and for them to lose by 20 to us. I think that's what's
I hope so. I do, man. I am going to love, I don't think the fit is good, but I am going to love watching Jonas and Zion play together because they're so fun to I do enjoy watching both of them a lot.
There is no fit for the Jonas Valanciunas anymore. There's not teams where they fit.
That's the question. I mean, he's a floor raiser, but he limits your ceiling. If
the teams that rely on a center to that degree, it's 2 of them, and they rely on them in completely different ways, and that would be the Sixers and the Jazz.
Yeah,
and say what you will about those teams. Jonas is neither of those.
I mean, you did pick the 2 best teams from last year in the regular season.
But Jonas is so different. Those are the 2 best defensive centers in the league.
Right.
And Jonas is one of the worst.
Yeah. I mean, he has to play drop, and he's not going to be able to guard
absolutely
the same
unstoppable
level of
post move
Embiid,
player.
Gobert. Yeah.
No defense at all. And unbelievably slow.
What's weird is they're both younger than it seems like they should be. Like Valanciunas is a very surprising. He's only 29, and then Steven Adams is younger than him. That doesn't make
Steven
sense.
Adams had like 17 siblings that he had to like fight in the bush. Like it's not normal. He is aged preternaturally. But have you heard the rumblings of Steven Adams, long range specialist? Because I'm ready to talk myself into this.
What is this? I have not.
Oh, he apparently wants to become a stretch five.
Oh, of course.
I think you have to say that as a big man. It's
like anytime a 7-foot center who shot 44% from the foul line is like, oh, I'm ready to start shooting. You're like, oh, great. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out fine.
More Hassan Whiteside comparisons. They abound.
Chuck, what's your best thing? We're over. Me and John are just giddy that our Grizzlies are in the news.
I'd step back and let y'all cook. I watched the U.S. Olympic basketball team poop the entire bed in Tokyo against France. Vive la France! Huh? Shout out French people.
Les Blues.
The one thing that blew my mind was, Rudy Gobert. Yeah, he's there. He's good. But their backup center, Fall, he's like I wasn't sure who he's related to. I thought it was Taco Fall, but he was more like Burrito Fall. He was like this chunky but he was dogging them inside. He seemed to be just more aggressive than they were.
When you're playing JaVale McGee as your U.S. representative at center.
I mean, come on, like poor Bam. The whole
Bam's our best guard.
Bam's our best ball.
He's our best passer.
It's our best pick and roll option. I'm just confused by this team. I really think they'll figure it out. Kevin Durant will hit his shots, and but when Drew Holiday is your biggest scoring threat,
I thought it was unbelievable when people were talking about some writer. It might have been someone on The Athletic was like, Luka Doncic is the best player at the Olympics. How far can he carry Slovenia? And something like 5,000 replies underneath were like, Kevin Durant, man. Kevin Durant's there. And then I know it's a 1-game sample, but Kevin Durant sucked. And then Luka Doncic scored 48 points
in 30 minutes.
Yeah, he just lit up Scola and the Argentinians.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm very interested in, and I'm not sure if rooting against America is unpatriotic.
It is by definition.
But okay, but maybe I just want.
Maybe it's time to go expatriate.
Right. Or like we need to tear it down to rebuild it. We have to have some sort of, because
Patrick
we
Henry
got
over
fat.
here.
Yeah, we got fat. Remember, in King of New York, I went away and y'all got fat. And it's time for me,
you are now also citing the motivation for every supervillain in almost every movie.
Right. So like we have
You're now Bane in The Dark Knight Rises.
I'm Bane.
You want to start it all over, burn it all down, and start it all over.
I just think it's necessary. We need this forest fire of an Olympic showing to, revive us.
We've done this before, and we're just repeating the same mistakes right down to the team construction.
This is not tearing it. I mean, unless it's like a forest fire where every 20 years you got to burn it down. We already said on this show a month ago, we've seen this movie before they played a single exhibition game. We specifically said this is the 2004 team. They're going to lose because they don't make any sense. The players pieced together don't make any sense. And so now that we've seen it, this could be my worst thing. It's not my worst thing. I somehow haven't made any money betting against this team, despite talking about how terrible they were. Every time they play, it always surprises me. I never know when the game's about to start.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like the first quarter, it's like it's already happened. Or this last game, I woke up and it was at halftime. And it's one of those, I kind of missed it. My best thing, speaking of taking pleasure in something failing, I cheer a lot against the Houston Rockets. I never liked James Harden, and now that he's gone, I've kind of just guided it all towards Tillman Fertitta. He's an easy villain.
Checks out.
But for the draft coming up on Thursday, it was reported that all the guys at the top of the draft, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, and Evan Mobley, none of them would agree to work out for the Rockets. They're like, nah, we're good. So somehow Tillman Fertitta has built this team where not even the players want to go. Not even the rookies will try out for, or like
Yikes.
do an interview, or I think maybe they're compelled to do interviews via Zoom, but like none
This
of them
isn't
have
like
done in-person stuff.
LaMelo Ball and Eli Manning. This is
What if it is? What if Jalen Green says, no, I made $500,000 playing in the G League last year. I'm going to wait a year.
I don't know anything about this draft. I know there's one center, and I have a feeling the Rockets will draft him and piss off Christian Wood. I'm not certain if that'll happen, but it feels like that's the move they'll make.
It feels like most of the draft analysts are now saying that it is going to be Jalen Green, who's a shooting guard, going at 2, and then Evan Mobley, the center, will end up with Jared Allen in Cleveland. What a ideal fit. And Larry Nance Jr., a bunch of big guys who don't really stretch the floor really. But that's definitely
Larry Nance Jr. is going to become a stretch 5 this year. Actually,
I do like Larry Nance Jr. Could we trade Eric Bledsoe for him?
Let's trade Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe and Grayson Allen.
That's the fun. Hey,
Jr.
That's
Larry
one
Nance Senior. Let's
that's
just
one thing
get rid of our problems.
That upset Grizzlies fans are not talking about. Console yourself. You can trade for now anyone salary wise with Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe. You can almost go get a Russell Westbrook if you want to.
Yeah.
You match up
Let's
those two,
go.
You match up those two guys, maybe throw in a Tyus Jones, and we can get ourselves.
What would I even do if Russell Westbrook came to town?
Oh man,
the gymnastics I would have to do to talk myself into that.
I would buy a jersey. I know that. Did everyone do their best thing?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
All right, so those were our best things, our steak and eggs. The opposite of the best thing is the cream of wheat. Worst thing, I'll start. I said, I missed the first half of the USA game against France. I think
Makes
it's just
sense.
because I'm so washed that I can't wake up for these things anymore. Like
The games are at times that are not inhuman.
I remember back in the day deriving such pleasure from setting my alarm at like 2 a.m. Like the 2002 World Cup, I'm going to wake up and watch all these games live. I would drive to one of my buddies' house at 3 a.m. to watch the World Cup when they're playing over in South Korea. And now it's like tonight on Monday night, it's like, hey, Team USA is playing the Iranian god Hamed Haddadi at 12:30. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like I can't like, I know my kids are going to wake up early. Like this, my worst thing is I've left the part of my life where I can, for a novelty, set my alarm for the middle of the night and find it to be really fun to wake up.
How about taking a moment and realizing that we just mainlined 2 distilled seasons, basically 1 mega season during a pandemic, and maybe, just maybe, you don't want to watch any more basketball right now.
That's not true. I want to watch the games. Like I feel like I'm like that'd be fun to watch, and I'll see these games that are on. I'm like,
I want to work out.
Nigeria,
I want
Australia.
to stop stuffing my chest with bear claws, but I don't. So I don't know. Maybe it's behavior patterns. Might need to dig deep, Keith. Take a
I want to stop eating meat, but I can't.
I don't know.
Can't.
I just can't.
I want to stay my cream of wheat. I kind of want to go back to your draft day talk.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about how miserable it's made me that basically, the NCAA season ended like 4 months ago. All those players might as well be dead to me. Like COVID has annihilated my like already tenuous grasp on NCAA basketball. Like most, NBA fanatics, I like to base my draft status on, like March Madness, like on a handful of games. And even that, like during COVID, like I couldn't do that. We had far too much NBA going on. Like it's just been ruined. I don't know what's going on. Like when you said Evan Mobley, I had to dig deep because I assumed that the Mobley rumored to be going to the Rockets was Keon Mobley Jr. And I just thought it was a legacy. It was done for. So, I mean, I don't feel like I've ever been this poorly. And here's the thing. I tried to listen to podcasts the last few days and read articles the last few days. If you haven't been watching the players, it just goes right through you. Like you have to have face, you have to have names and bodies and moments to mesh together. It's not the type of thing you can't just learn about a whole sport you haven't followed. And the NCAA and the NBA are so disparate now, especially the way we consume media. There's not even, like commercials or overlap or any kind of like hand holding between the two sports anymore. I just don't know what's happening. And I'm having to like more than ever, even for, hoops hipsters like us, I just have to rely on like guys like Kevin O'Connor does it for the Ringer. And there's just no way, considering how much NBA stuff he has to watch all year, there's just no way that this guide is even worth the web space. Yeah. Like it's just, disrespect to him. It's just not possible that he's being asked to be their NBA guy and their draft, their Chad Ford guy.
Some people don't have kids.
Yeah. And he's paid to do it. I mean,
and drink a lot of Red Bull.
You can only compare guys to Michael Carter Williams so many times on a draft board before I'm like, you just haven't done the work, son.
He compared, what was the comparison? He compared Josh Giddey, who is a Australian like a tall
Adelaide player,
like a tall ball handler type dude.
What a great name.
Who maybe the Grizzlies are going to get. He said he was a mixture of Lamar Odom, Danilo Gallinari, and Xavier Tillman Sr. That, my friends, is the perfect human being.
He might
That's Mad Libs.
You could take a little. And I'm not even saying he's wrong. I've weirdly hit the point.
I'm going to say he's wrong.
This year, I have done what John you said is impossible. Where this year I've virtually absorbed draft knowledge. I can fake it. I don't know what a single prospect looks like.
Podcaster now that's pod racing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what any of these guys looks like, but I can now basically say like a bullet point about every single one of them that I've just gleaned from all these whatever different draft sites. But the combination, like I guess you could take the worst aspects of Lamar Odom, Danilo Gallinari, and Xavier Tillman Sr. make an unplayable player. But if you took the best ones, you're talking about one of the best NBA players ever.
What Keith just said kind of reminds me of a little song.
Oh, Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. A game of scones?
A game of scones. Keith Parrish solo edition.
Wait,
Keith, I'm going to name a player.
Game of scones are played.
Keith, I'm going to name a player.
Okay.
And I just want you to give me a credible sounding line.
Okay.
And Chuck, you're going to tell me if it's a pass or fail.
Okay.
Keith, Corey Kispert.
Oh, Corey Kispert is a large wing from Gonzaga. He profiles to be one of the better shooters in this year's draft, possibly the best standstill shooter in the draft. The comparisons to Doug McDermott, he's a little bit of an older player, a little bit of concern there, but he's one of those guys that any contender wants to get on the team because he's going to fit, plug and play, be able to knock down those shots on day one.
First of all, I love how everyone is admitting their lack of knowledge, which you guys have turned into me. I love it.
Look, I usually watch a lot of March Madness.
Everything I said is true, right?
It is
but true. I'm just regurgitating something I've absorbed. I don't know what Corey Kispert looks like other than he's white.
Ooh, I'm going to give you another one. Ready?
I love it.
Let's Chuck judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keith
Thank
gets
you.
a point.
I
mean, as a guy who mindlessly consumes,
I gave him a white guy first. Let's hold on. All right. Okay.
All right.
Keon Johnson.
Keon Johnson out of the University of Tennessee might be slipping a little bit in this year's draft, but he has the athleticism, the highest vertical jump in the entire class, broke the combine record, 48-inch vertical leap. I think because we're so far from the games actually being played, he's slipping a little because when he goes in to do these team workouts, he's not able to knock down the shots. He's very, very raw prospect. And because of that, maybe someone will take a gamble on him, but very raw prospect. I think actually I regurgitated something like verbatim where I shouldn't have just
that's perfect.
But
that's what you do. That's your feet of clay.
I'm gonna dock points for not mentioning which direction he's moving on people's draft board.
I said he was slipping.
You said okay.
Although honestly, I would give if you somehow were able to say truly nothing like that, I would give you points. If you found a way to say that he was moving in a direction.
Sliding around draft boards. That could be anywhere.
Okay. All right. You're right. I messed up.
It's fine. No.
Speaking of sliding down draft boards, let's go with, I don't know how to say his name. I'm going to try to say his name, Zaire Williams.
Yeah, Zaire Williams. So this is a guy who was one of the top high school prospects, had a very disappointing year at Stanford. He's a perfect, ideal NBA size and body. That's why people are going to take a chance on him, but he was so bad his freshman year at Stanford. A lot of people have attributed that to there was COVID outbreak in his family. They were living out of a hotel in Stanford's year. So it was a very strange season. So despite his very bad freshman year of college, just the tantalizing physical attributes and the perfect size make him a guy who has actually been rumored to be taken all the way as high as 7 to the Warriors.
See, I'm giving extra points for the rumor and saying a specific
I made that
team's draft. See, perfect. Good job.
Also nailed the narrative.
Yeah.
You got to get that.
I've
narrative.
heard these
that guy
stories.
Has a very specific narrative. You got to get there.
He's also, who I thought the Grizzlies were going to take at 17, but now they've jumped up, and so maybe they're not going to take him at 10. Maybe they're taking him at 10. Yeah, sorry, Chuck.
And look, I'm not here trying to tell you how to make dinner, but from what I've heard, sources inside is always a way to go.
Oh yeah,
sources inside the team, and I don't think not all of these people have sources inside their team.
No. So sources inside is a very specific thing. You got to keep an eye out for sources knowledgeable of the situation. That opens you up to anyone.
Right. A gas station attendant.
Yeah. Someone who watches every Grizzlies game.
Right. A guy who delivered pizza.
Yeah. I think, John, I think, did I pass the test?
One last.
I mean, okay.
Sirhan Booth.
Was that someone who tried to shoot William McKinley?
I think
it was a fake name created by me to test you using the assassins of Robert F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln. You have passed the test.
Yeah.
Flawless Game of Scones performance. My God.
Thank you.
I believed everything you said.
It was it was all true.
I pulled up the Ringers draft board, and it was essentially verbatim. So, I mean, massive props to you.
Thank you. Who else has a worst of week? Chuck, have we done your worst?
I'm going to post a video on our Instagram tomorrow morning of a robot, a Japanese robot who's shooting 3-pointers.
Why does it have to be Japanese?
Because it's in Japan.
Oh, it was actually a Japanese robot.
Okay, it was in Tokyo.
I like it.
It was at the Olympics.
Get that virtue out there, Keith.
And
we're going to take our jobs, Chuck.
I'm afraid of the robot takeover. Our digital overlords. They're coming for us. They're
if you put one in the corner on the Grizzlies, I'll hail our digital overlord. Let's bring it.
What I wanted to know is what would this 3-point shooting robot get on the market in the modern NBA? Slow of foot, not really good defensively, but you're talking about 16. Is that what we call that? The Bertans line?
The Bertans line? Yeah. He got a 5-year deal too. Unbelievable.
It's frightening. This isn't really
5-year
basketball
deal with
related.
A warranty maybe for the robot.
This isn't really basketball related. It's just me being scared of the Terminator.
I could handle
takeover.
I could handle the basketball robot because it's humanoid. It didn't look mobile. It looked like it had to be set up and was very stationary. The robot.
I'm okay until I start having sexual thoughts about a robot. That's when it gets very dystopian for me. As soon as I want to have sex with the robot, it kind of breaks down, and that's when the fear creeps in.
So you were saying non-humanoid robots are the ones you want to have sex with? I got a little lost with that.
Can we move on to the next segment?
I was going to say the basketball robot, not intimidating. Have you guys seen the curling robot?
Oh,
this robot is an expert at curling.
Does it look like Barney from The Simpsons?
It looks like its own thing. I don't know what to compare it to. I thought it was like a very short robot, and so it crouches down, and it looks like a little vacuum cleaner, and so it.
I was going to say, is this just an iRobot vacuum that vacuums your home?
It shoves that disc or whatever it is for the curling stone across the ice, but then.
I believe it
raises up to like 8 feet tall to get a view of where the stone went. And then it measures the stuff This thing, truly nightmare. More nightmarish than whatever that Boston Dynamics robot dog. This thing was like a weird sci-fi.
Don't mention the robot dog. I have had sexual thoughts about the robot dog.
Horrible creature. Everybody do their worst?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those were our cream of wheat worst things. Coming up next is the awards segment of the program. But before we get there, we have a couple of listener submitted questions. The croissant questioner.
Dr. Swinger asks, let's imagine everybody was healthy and willing to play. Who would close games for the USA men's basketball team? Keith, this has been your favorite subject of late. I'm sure you have an answer queued up and ready, but I want to hear from Chuck first. I don't want any of your Olympic expertise to sully the mind of Chuck Anderson's closing lineup. Chuck, who's closing the game for you on this USA men's basketball team?
I mean, so we're putting like LeBron, AD. We need a center, so AD's got to go in. KD, Steph, and Jonas. Wait, he's
Jonas
Greek.
Plays
Easy, Bill Simmons.
the hero Piro.
The hero pirouette. I guess
I'm gonna throw Dylan Brooks on that team.
You got a guy. Yes, Aaron Baines. Kawhi.
Units.
We got to put Kawhi in there.
I don't think Kawhi is an American.
He's his
Not
own
sure
thing.
where he's from.
He's a man with no country.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like outside of your all world team members, I feel like that's pretty standard. Is there anybody so Dame Lillard doesn't make the squad? Like, do KD and Lillard get to stay on the squad? No, Keith's shaking his head.
No, if I get to build my dream team of, I assume he's asking, like, who's your all NBA, all USA?
Yeah.
If
guys?
they were injured.
What's your closing lineup?
I mean, I think we're unanimous on we want LeBron and Steph Curry out there.
Yes.
And then
Right.
KD, I think.
Kevin Durant. I have no issue with that. I think it might be Anthony Davis at the 5.
I for one can't believe Chuck named Anthony Davis, but I think that is correct.
I don't know who else you would take. And so with those guys, I honestly would probably go with a Chris Middleton or a Drew Holiday at the 2, like another someone who can
Giannis's
shoot.
Closer for you, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea. I mean, I'm willing
I'm going
to
to go a different direction. I'm going to go with Kevin Love, JaVale McGee.
Keldon Johnson.
Keldon Johnson, that's a deep dit. And then and this is strange. I'm going to put in 2 different slots, Carmelo Anthony with and without hoodie. To get both facets of his international moxie. For me, that's where I'm going.
Are we ignoring James Harden? I mean, should James Harden get a
Yes.
a spot on the team?
Yes, we are.
It's true.
He's hanging out with the French team, getting busted for peace pipes. Let's move on to Drew's question. I really like this one. Which team that just missed the playoffs would you pick to make the deepest run in the 22 playoffs, a la the Phoenix Suns this year?
And a la the Miami Heat from last year.
Right. It's been fun. Can it be done again? I feel like there are a couple of candidates, honestly.
The Warriors missed the playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel like that. It's not the spirit of the question, is it?
Yeah, like a surprise team, not a team that's getting back players.
And
from
I honestly
injury.
don't even know if I believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I believe.
I mean, we wouldn't have been able to even pick the Suns at this point in last year's offseason because they hadn't signed Chris Paul. So we're looking at a team that could grab maybe a free agent and do like Miami grabbed Jimmy Buckets.
Yep.
The Suns picked up. So where's Kyle Lowry going? Maybe if Lowry goes to
that's the one if you want.
The Pelicans.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pelicans are right there for you.
Yeah. So
I unloaded the last team that unloaded Eric Bledsoe won the title.
All right.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm too fearful to go with the West, but I have a couple that I like in the East. I think the Pacers, now that they're not coached by a coach that they hate, could return to form under Carlisle. And then the Raptors just tanked so mercilessly.
I feel like the Raptors. I was thinking
they could get right back into it and make it. I feel like the Pacers if the Pacers or the Raptors made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, would that really shock you?
But what's the Pacers? Yes, the Raptors.
Yeah,
no.
That's probably the wildest thing I said. But I really think having as we've seen the Lloyd Pierce situation and the Nate Bjorkgren situation, that can really undo a team.
But what's shocking about the Suns thing is that would be akin to saying one of us right now picking
Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves or the Kings. Like they went 10 years without making the playoffs. And they were up 2-0.
I don't see a team like that. I
mean,
the Pelicans have the least wins of these.
Hey, what if it's not going to happen? Like Ben Simmons.
You're going to say Thunder? Are you going to say Thunder?
No. Like Ben Simmons is getting traded, it seems like.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out a player who could go and be a catalyst for this team. I feel like the Timberwolves, there's like a world where if Chris Paul went to the Timberwolves and he somehow didn't murder Karl Anthony Towns, and it was like Anthony Edwards takes this leap, because Anthony Edwards was whatever. I don't remember what he averaged the final 2 months of the season. It was like 26 points per game and was just spectacular. So like if they have Anthony Edwards and they have Karl Anthony Towns cooking, and then you add in someone like a Chris Paul to kind of run the whole thing, then you could see this miracle jump. But I mean,
I hate that we're giving Chris Paul so much credit right now, but wow, such is the power of Chris Paul. I mean, you kind of stick him on any of these teams, you're like, maybe they'll make the finals.
Yeah, I mean, every other team, it's really hard to envision.
What about Hornets with the continuous LaMelo?
Well, so Hornets is a good one where they would have made the playoffs if it hadn't been for injuries, I think.
Right.
You got Gordon Hayward had a great year. Although Cody Zeller basically announced on the Woj pod he's not coming back because he wants to go to a contender.
Whoops! Hear me out. Zach LaVine is in Japan, and he goes to Fukushima, and he becomes a radioactive superhero. And then the Bulls make it to the finals because he grows 4 feet.
I don't care if he's 11 feet tall. Guy still can't play in the fourth. Forget it. Forget it. Zach LaVine.
What if LaVine picked up one of those Hattori Hanzo samurai swords?
Ooh, samurai swords, chops. I don't know. I got nothing. I think the play is wherever team that was on the fringe gets an upgrade, but that's a handful of teams. So I couldn't tell you. So wherever Kyle Lowry goes is who I would pick.
That makes, I mean, if Kyle Lowry sticks with the Raptors, it could be Raptors. If he goes to the Pelicans,
more home cooking.
Don't tell any Pelicans fan that's not happening, or you might have, a suicide watch on your hands.
What? I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around the Kyle Lowry is like, oh yeah, Pelicans, that's where I'm going. You guys trade whatever, do whatever it takes to free up the room. I'm coming to you guys. Like that doesn't seem realistic in the least to me. But I mean, what do I know? Did that wrap up our croissant questions?
Absolutely. If you're interested in becoming a part of that, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. We have a Slack community that'll keep you going during these very limited downtimes that we have in the off season now.
That's right.
Furthermore, I mean, we're talking about a Slack meetup in Vegas in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. We're probably, John and I are going to be in Vegas together. Our time there is going to overlap August 9th and 10th. So if you guys want to swing by, we'll probably be able to come see, we'll be able to say hi. Might meet up somewhere at the UNLV in the concourse at the games. We'll try to figure it out. I'm not sure what it's going to be like again with
I know. I've never been, and I figure we'll just meet and compare masks.
Also, if you join our Patreon, not only will we answer your questions on air or as part of the Millennial Brunch bonus episode, we are probably going to have a Zoom in the next couple of days where we record and answer your questions. So keep an eye out for that. All of our Patreon supporters right now, we'll post it on Patreon and on the Slack, and we'll do a little Zoom hangout with you guys right before the draft. So if you want to support our show, do all of that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right. Now for the awards segment of the program, the International Stackhouse of Pancakes. It's given each week to the worst performance in a box score. There was one NBA game played since we all last met. That was game 6 of the NBA Finals.
So no Olympic scores this time.
I didn't, honestly, I didn't look them up. If there were some good Olympic, shooting stats, I know Lillard and Durant didn't quite post very good stat lines, but no, these are just from the finals games. And in game 6, we have 3 nominees. DeAndre Ayton, maybe his first bad game of the whole playoffs. He was pretty rough. 4 for 12 from the field, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, 5 personal fouls.
I can't believe Keith is going to get to end the season like this.
Then Drew Holiday.
Big time.
Drew Holiday, 4 for 19.
Almost.
However, 12 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul. That's a vintage Jason Kidd line.
Yeah.
4 for 19, 12 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul. And then Devin Booker.
Here it comes. Like, this is wrong.
What?
Keith should not get to end the Suns season.
Did you see the twinkle?
This is not right.
Listen, let's read the stats. Okay. Let's just go to the stats.
Oh, man.
Devin Booker was 8 for 22. Not terrible.
Kobe-esque.
Here it comes.
8 for 22.
That 3-point line's coming.
19 points. He was 0 for 7 from 3. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. So we have to decide.
Well, we know how you're voting.
Just not even taking into account what we saw watching the game, that we judge it just based on the stats. And it's between Drew and Devin. Yes. Drew Holiday was 4 for 19, which you're more typical iShop
5
stats.
Steals? 5
steals? He was 4 for 19. He had 12 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, 4 steals. Devin Booker, 8 for 22, 19 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, 6 turnovers.
Look,
I can't believe you did
it's a shame that it's only the box score, because I should give DeAndre Ayton an iShop award for biting on a Giannis 3-point pump fake.
He went for it. Oh, man.
I mean, like, that should get you some sort of award for tomfoolery. But I gotta go. That's a Shackton. I gotta go. Let's go Devin Book. Let's go D-Book. Let's go Book. There's no,
John, what do you think?
Drew's like, that's a chunky stat line.
4 for 19, but 4 for 19 is the normal.
It is what we would go for.
But he did have a near triple double, and we love the 4 steals.
And he tried. John, come on. We got to give Keith this. This is how we manage.
Oh, you guys both. I was going to vote. I'm voting Drew Holiday.
He gets to keep his high ground. Look at this. This is a nightmare scenario.
Oh, man. So 2 for 1. Jon and Chuck have voted Devin Booker.
Look at
as
this.
The final
this is some Kaiser Soze falling coffee cup
winner.
Keith is straightening out his limp right now. Where's your head, Agent Kulian?
Listen, guys. I'm so happy the Suns didn't win the title. Although I had prepared an entire thing where I was ready to be like, the Suns made the correct choice of DeAndre Ayton because they won the title. Because obviously if you win a title, every choice you made leading to the title was correct. So picking Ayton over Doncic directly led them to getting to the finals. And then I thought they were going to win the title. I mean, they were up 2-0. It didn't work out that way.
I mean, I was ready for you to morph basically into Charlie Day conspiracy theorist to somehow not give Devin Booker credit for any of it. But then he goes and throws up an iShop in game 6 and takes the heat off for you.
Devin Booker is very, very good. I've given him so much credit. He's won me over a lot this year. I've changed my opinion on him this year. Doesn't mean I'm still not cheering against him. I mean,
or ever going to apologize.
It's good to have a villain. It's fun. It's fun to.
Yeah, we need a foil.
Man,
We need a foil.
and Giannis is my hero. That was a fun bandwagon to jump on. Like, what a guy!
Hero.
I'm probably never going to forgive myself for not allowing myself to root for Giannis the one time in his career he'll ever be an underdog.
I'm like, I know it's important to stick with your team and to ride those highs and lows, but I'm telling you guys, a little dalliance, a little flirtation still gives you some of those fun feelings. Like I remember jumping on that Marc Gasol Raptors.
You wore sans underwear, Toronto Raptors shorts every day for a month.
That's
more than a dalliance. That is adultery.
I wore my Raptors pajama shorts that I got from NBA.com for 6 months consecutive. March
on whatever those are made, neoprene.
No, I mean, no, I wore a base layer also. I wasn't going to just do that. Anyway, let's move to the par fadeaway. Let's close this thing down. Par fadeaway, gentlemen. What things are you guys looking forward to? Obviously, I mean, this is NBA draft week. A lot going on, but what are you guys focused on?
Well, I'm mostly focused on where the Grizzlies draft pick ends up, because it does seem to me that they are poised to move up. Because like moving to 10, that's great. But if you're making moves like this, particularly the way these dominoes appear to be falling, I think they could be moving up into like the 6 or 5 range. The type of player that the Grizzlies need, I don't think is at 10. So I'm excited to see where it ends up. And I'm just, I think this draft is really interesting despite not knowing who the hell these players are. I just think that there's so many teams where you're going to be able to identify where they think they are by what they do in this draft.
The one thing I can't understand when I read about this draft is how it seems like the Pelicans and the Kings don't seem to know where they are. And also the Cavs too.
Well, I think the Kings are out of their minds. And then the Pelicans have this weird thing where they have this whole culture of fear surrounding will Zion be the first guy to just bounce after a rookie contract like that. Like, so I think you've picked two kind of outliers there.
But then there's the Cavaliers where I feel like their draft analysis is saying like the Cavs want to be good this year. And it's like, they might be good, but they have young pieces. Like, just figure it out. You got Garland and Sexton, and then you get the third pick. Like, just figure it out.
I feel like the ephemera and the media surrounding the Cavs is just like way off. Are they really trying to get rid of Colin Sexton? I don't feel like that can be true.
Why can't we trade for Colin Sexton with all our future picks now as the Grizzlies? I wouldn't mind a Colin Sexton.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. Like, it's like the Miles Turner thing where I can't figure out why no one seems to care about him. That's a guy who like has gotten better every year and can't be older than 23 years old.
Yeah.
I want Colin Sexton in Memphis for the more sex backcourt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or ant
alone.
sex.
Ant sex. Ooh.
Sexy robot ant. That's on
not
my
terrible.
list of
Chuck,
things
what
that scare me.
What are you looking forward to?
I don't know what are he gonna do. They can't draft anybody. There's no draft picks, but they got some cap space. They got some cap space, right?
Yeah, I tried to go back to the Heat well and then remembered that they can't go there for once.
No, I mean, I don't know what the plans are. They can't do anything in the draft, but they can get maybe a Spencer Dinwiddie.
Oh, all right.
If Kyle Lowry is Jimmy Butler's daughter's godfather, which is a true fact.
I feel like we all assumed it was going to be Kyle Lowry to the Heat.
Right.
But now this weird Pelicans thing.
It's strange what's going to happen. I'm not sure. I'm sure the roster's going to look different.
DeMar DeRozan's available.
DeMar DeRozan's going to go play for the
Lakers.
Clippers for nothing or something. He's going to move back to LA. But it's like, I'm just looking forward what kind of stuff you can do with, $22 million in cap space, whatever the Heat have. And, we'll see. I'm not excited about this draft because none of those players will be on my team. So
yeah, take the night off, buddy.
It'll be all. I've historically not cared about the draft because the Heat have historically not cared about the draft. So that's this history will.
Shabazz Napier says hello.
Right.
Maya.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm trying to solve this 2x2 Rubik's Cube now.
See, now that's a Rubik's Cube I can get behind.
Back
no,
to
it's just as hard as the 3x3.
God.
I've only solved this twice. It's very difficult. It's a pattern thing. It isn't like you can transfer skills from a big cube to a small cube. I'm starting from scratch.
You could give me like Dustin Hoffman, Papillon, Steve McQueen, Great Escape, Jail Time, and I would never be able to solve one of those things.
You could do it, buddy.
I could dunk a basketball before I could solve that thing.
I've gotten my regular standard Rubik's Cube time under a minute and a half. I've gotten bored. So now I'm doing new things. So shout out the Rubik's Cubes.
It is an impressive obsession you now have with.
They call me Mark Rubik's Cuban.
If he's not talking about Marvel TV shows, I'm thrilled, Keith.
Yeah, no.
Oh, coming up on the Marvel television.
No, you're done.
Go wrap it up.
I'm going to mute him. No, beyond the NBA draft, I love, obviously, one of my favorite nights of the year, possibly my favorite night of the year. And now with the Grizzlies playing such a prominent role, maybe even more moves are going to happen. That's huge. But beyond that, the Grizzlies play a basketball game in 1 week.
Yeah.
Summer League is starting to get the Utah Summer League. Although this is going to be one of those things where since they can't actually
wait, Keith, you're going to the Utah Summer League?
Oh, is that not where you're going?
No, I'm going to the Vegas Summer League.
Oh, what an awkward situation this is. No, the Utah Summer League starts next Tuesday with the Grizzlies are playing a game, but I'm worried it's going to be one of those situations where they can't actually play whoever they draft at 2 or wherever they end up drafting after they're done trading, because the trade can't be completed until like a week after the draft till the new NBA season starts. And so we'll be there in Vegas. Like the Grizzlies have played 5 Summer League games, and whoever it is, Moses Moody hasn't been allowed to suit up yet, but I am excited.
Josh Giddey. Yeah. Giddy up.
We're going to see some
Joe Ingles type, Chuck. Joe
We're going
to
see Xavier Tillman. We're going to see Desmond Bane, Jonte Porter. Basketball, NBA basketball. Did it just end? Yes, it did. And we're going to see more of it 1 week from Tuesday. As Chuck Weekly says, yay.
Yay.
Anyway, if you want to support our program, the best way to do that is at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. Join us with the community over there. I'm about to post the free agent game so you can pick where these guys are going to end up.
Always humbling. Always humbling free agent game.
For whoever wins that one. But support us, patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Fastbreak Break. Follow John Burr, Master John Burr. Follow Chuck, the Mighty Chuck. Check us out on YouTube, twitch.tv/Fastbreak Breakfast. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Hey.